Bavoda Basra Shabbat Becha V'Adelam Deichugei Chayim Bavoda Basra Shabbat Becha Kein Dechoneinu Salam Deinu Oy Vesei Meleveinu Leovi Leoinu Leami Avinu Avinu Avarachamu Hamirachem Nachem Aleinu Hoy Vesei Meleveinu Leovid Limoidu Leilami Vilavu Avinu Avinu Avarachamu Hamirachem Rachem Aleinu Agud Voch Raboisai Liluy Nishmas Imi Mirasi Ruzbus Mordechai. Welcome all the guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name again? Hillel Edery. From Aviv. Nice. Shkoyach for coming. Who else do we have there? That's it. You're like not so new. What's your name? Chaim Sherman. You've been here for a month. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. We got the doctor from Toronto. Shlomo, what's your name? You look shtickle. Holtzberg. Shlomo Holtzberg. Okay. I'll get there eventually. What's your name over there? You. The guy on the phone. What's your name? Oh, who's the guy next to you? Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Tani Rosenstein from? Okay. Also, kids, everybody's old there. Okay, fine. Dear Belly, listen to this one. I like this one because I think this could give us all chizuk. I just joined you shir in Bava Basra. Really appreciate it. Stay up late to keep up, but it's worth it. I wanted to chime in regard learning Iyun and Bekiyas that came up today. I agree that you don't knock people learning Be'iyun. All of those people won't learn Bekiyas because they only learn Be'iyun. But in the end, don't learn Be'iyun either. You mentioned today that you agree learning Be'iyun is probably better, but for Bali Batim, not likely possible for most people. I wanted to mention though, that even regular Bali Batim like myself have the potential to increase the level of their learning higher than they think. That's the point of this email. I want to mention though, that even regular Bali Batim like myself have the potential to increase the level of their learning higher than they think. As Bava Basra for the past 16 years after leaving Kollel and working as a full-time professional, I've gone back and forth about learning the Daf. For the past 15 years, I've been part of a night Seder Chabur that learns Iyun Kal with Chazara and Bechinas. I felt I couldn't do both, and I didn't want to give up on the Iyun Kal, so besides a 6-month Daf Yomi stint 10 years ago, I didn't join the Daf. Almost a year ago, we were just finishing Masechtas Tainis, and a guest speaker at the Siyum challenged us to Chazar the Masechta 10 times. I'm not sure if he was serious, but I took him seriously. I made a schedule to Chazar Tainis 10 times, as well as the next Masechta Nida 10 times. Then the war broke out the next week, and I took this on as a zchus for my family, Klal Yisrael, soldiers fighting. It has literally transformed my learning and life. 9 months later, that's the name of my book. 9 months later, we're now on Daf Mem Gimel and Nida, and besides staying on schedule, I've chazed some dafim 9 times already, and most others 5 to 8 times. My whole day is different, and it's amazing how much time I've found that I wouldn't have thought is possible. Some people might think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, learning 4 to 6 hours with a real kesha to learning, with a full-time job, and young kids is very possible. 4 to 6 hours is very possible. It just takes siyadta dishmaya, a plan, desire to try your best, and an honest look at how you're using your time and technology helps too, something like that. Having a regimen and plan for shtadlus and learning is so helpful. For this reason, I decided to try to add another lunchtime Seder to maximize that time and learn the daf. I found your shir and really appreciate your style, Geshmak. It makes it easy to maintain and commit the commitment. There are other great Magidi Shurim out there that go more beyond, but for what I'm looking for, your shir is perfect. I'm not paskening, but for working balabas, if you could only do one, I could very much hear that it might be better to have Bekiyas with a Geshmak than Be'iyun without a Geshmak. I don't think you need to pasken that. Everything you do has to be with a Geshmak. Yiddishkeit has to be with Geshmak. But I want to say, don't sell yourself short, he says. Rabbi Yisai, Balabatim, don't sell yourself short. I wanted to encourage people to push yourself as a schos for Klal Yisrael and yourself at this time and try to stretch yourself more than what you think is possible. I think we're looking at a room full of people that stretch themselves. They came here at 10 o'clock at night, knowing that the Magachir is not going to show up on time. They came anyway, and it's late, and the wife wants to do things, and the kids this, and you come here. That's why. Okay. Also wanted to say, the empty wife found, there are some people that I know their wives are not watching. That I can tell you. From your remark, it's not going to get back to your wife. The other people that the wives watch, they know what they're saying during shit. The empty wife family is truly unique. It's a very rare template nowadays of using Torah to bond Klal Yisrael together through Achdus, as it should be, in a real Geshmak, energizing way. I think every shir, shul, and school should steal the template. Again, it's something that I become used to, and I think a lot of people become used to, but it's a beautiful thing to see Hasidim and modern Orthodox and Dati Leumi and Litvaks and Misnagdim and Ashkenazim and Sfardim and people that are off the derech, on the derech, all together in the same room, the same Zoom, the same shir. It's unbelievable. And we shouldn't take it for granted. But it's people that otherwise would never speak to another group or whatever, become best friends, and it's going to bring Mashgiach Be'ezer Hashem. Yeshikar for all you do, and please don't share my name. With appreciation, Ilan. Hello, Rebelli. Yesterday, Bava Basra Daf Tes Zion. Just a short while after I listened to your shir about a snake venom epidural, we welcomed our new son, Mazel Tov. May we always learn the daf and all of the Torah. Your Talmud, Pini Krizel from Hong Kong. You had a kid in Hong Kong. Gewaldig, huh? They use. That's what they do in Hong Kong. They don't have regular epidurals. They use the snakes. As I state, our Rifal from the Koilel had a baby girl, and he told me based on the Gemara, he didn't know if to cry. No, he gave me a whole drush. I didn't have time to listen to it. No, he's very excited in the message. Rabbi said, this is a beautiful picture. Did I show this already? I think I did show this. Yes. I did. And this I showed, or maybe I didn't. This is Mendy, the one who did the chart. He put together the chart. You could see that he did that chart, and I sent that chart to Yoshi. And do you know what I'm talking about, the chart? I'll show you here. This chart. Where's the chart? This chart. This chart really helped Olam Yoshi. After 10, 11 hours of working, I asked him if he could do the chart. He was already home. It was already 11 o'clock at night. Then he said, yes, no problem. To 1 o'clock in the morning, he said, simple chart, but it really helped the sugya a lot. So before we jump into this, we're not going to go through the chart again. We're basically past that. Well, we kind of discussed it in passing. Here's the question of the night. Here in Ramabit Shemesh, we're all familiar with the bakery over there, Nechama. Okay, Nechama, I think it was some other store beforehand. I forgot. Oh, it was a farm store beforehand. It was Feldheim's, right? Yeah. So now the people in the building, can they stop a bakery from opening up? They say, listen, the odor, the smell is too much. They're thinking about Berekis all day. They're going to want to buy Berekis. Yeah. It's just, what do you do? Besides, this is Shaila Halacha. The Ramah brings a Shaila. If you enjoy the smell, you have to make a bracha on a berekes smell, a bread smell. So there's a Shaila Halacha. So no, could I stop? Let's say the guy wants to put a fish store in there. Not stop a fish store, like the one that I remember growing up with in Meir Sharim. Nervayim. They would clean it once every week or whatever. It was terrible. Can I stop something like that? What do you say? You say yes. It makes sense you could. The tanners had their own shul. I don't know why. Halachically, I chap, but are you mechuyev? I don't know. Maybe it's real damage, not. Shalom Aleichem, all the way from Yerushalayim. All right. So we're holding 6 lines from the bottom of Yud Zayin Amud Beis. We have a shorter daf today, a very easy daf. Oh, we got to do sponsors. You're right. Sponsors. Where are the sponsors? They're all the way over here. Tomorrow's daf is also super easy. The Masechta, sponsored for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Paras HaChodesh, Yosef Chaya, Liluy Nishmas, Yosef Chaya, Liluy Nishmas, Zechariah ben Moshe. It's reversed again, Yosef. The Paras HaChodesh Refuat hanefesh and go for Breina, Bina, Bat, Miriam, Baila, Netanel, Kalev, Ben Bracha, or Bracha, Bat, Breina, Bina. Paras HaChodesh, Moe Landy, Liluy Nishmas, Moshe ben Shmuel Yehuda, the Mashgiach of torah, vodaas. Paras HaChodesh, Ahron Fraiman, it's chus. The chus to rebellion for continuing siyadta dishmaya and teaching torah to Kalev Yisrael. Paras HaChodesh. Before Shleima, Naftali Hertz ben Leah, a hidden tzaddik in our generation, not a hidden tzaddik anymore. He's a tzaddik, but not hidden. Liluy Nishmas from Kalman Yaakov Ari ben Arav Zev Dov, Kalman Halberin by Halberin in Zuderer. How do you pronounce that? Levitan and Sontek families. Zuderer. Lezech Nishmas Zissel David ben Avraham, and by Eli Greenberg in honor of our dear friend and my Rabbi Abba Rennart. Abba Rennart is a rabbi. I love Abba Rennart. Benjamin Kaufman in honor of my wife Linda on our 32nd wedding anniversary. Who was it that came over to me on Friday and showed me that his wife sponsored their anniversary or his birthday? Chassidish Ingeman sponsored. He's not here tonight, I don't think. His wife sponsored, and he had it in his phone ready. He was like in 2 seconds, he was able to show me where I sponsors his chashuv. Then he showed me a text message that he told his wife how much he appreciates the gift. To him, it meant a lot. So Benjamin Kaufman, in honor of my wife Linda, on our 32nd wedding anniversary. Huh?
He doesn't appreciate it.
Well, if you don't want her to do it again next year, you got to do it you have to say it in a smart way. I don't know. Okay. So today's sugya is referring to the case when a person, this is in the Mishnah that you're not supposed to dig a pit next to another pit. And we said it has to be 6 tefachim away. Are you permitted to do this? That was the shaila. The guy on the other side doesn't have any pits, there's no wells. You want to dig a well all the way up to the property line. Yes or no? That was the question. Machlokes, Abai and Rava. Rava says absolutely not. Abai says you can't. So now we're going to bring different rayas basically against Rava. Rava says you cannot. So says the Gemara, Tashma, Sela haba b'yadayim, 6 lines from the bottom, Yud Zayin Amud Beis. Basically, there's 2 types of tunnels I discovered. There's the ones in Gaza. Baruch Hashem, there's good news coming out of Gaza. Yamach Shemoinik, number 2. Is basically he's gone. Deaf is the guy that has the problem with the eye. I didn't say his name. What do you make me say his name for? Whatever. They killed supposedly over 100 people that were around him just to get to him. He already survived 7 attempts. Hopefully this 8th one is not another one. They put They just got a whole supply of those 2,000-pound bombs. They used them all on him tonight. They need another supply. Seriously, they went again and again. They weren't sure if they got him. So, anyways, Bezer Hashem. But over there, they dig all these tunnels by hand. In other words, it's habab yadayim. It's easy. It's like dirt. It's sand from the beach. It's habab yadayim easy. There's another type of tunnel they have up, unfortunately, in the north. Over there, it's all rock. Because Baal also has tunnels, but it's much harder for them to dig. So the Gemara says, Sela Baba Yadayim, the one that's very easy. Zeh Choyfer Boyer Mekan, V'zeh Choyfer Boyer Mekan. 2 people dig a well. Zeh Marchik Shloish Tfachim V'sod Basid. The first guy must distance himself 3 tfachim. According to Rava, what do you do? Look at the picture. There's no distance. According to Abaya, there's no distance. Over here, it seems like you have to distance yourself 3 tfachim, and this would be a question on Abaya. Why does the first guy, why does he have to distance himself 3 tfachim? And he puts a layer of lime in the inside. Two things he has to do. He has to distance 3 tefachim plus he has to put a layer of lime. Says Gemara, Baba Yadayim Shani. So that is throughout the whole sugya. Nobody argues. This is a sugya. Could I do whatever I feel like doing in my backyard? Anything I want. There's a guy here, a dayan in the Hebrew shir, says, look, I could smoke in my apartment, even though the smoke goes up to the apartment above me and it bothers them, let them leave the apartment. So I said, wait a minute, are you a smoker? Yes. I said, of course. But one thing is clear. You're not permitted to do damage in your property that causes an immediate damage to your neighbor. Immediate is not okay. If I plant a tree in my property and 3 months later, 2 years later, the roots go and destroy my neighbor's property, that's a machlokes. Rabbi says it's not a problem, it's my property, and the Chacham say not. But says Gemara, Baba Yadayim, when it's so soft and I go all the way up to the border line, what's going to happen? I'm going to weaken my neighbor's property. On the spot, I'm weakening. That's awesome. Says Gemara, the Karla, my Karla, and what was your Havamina even to ask a question from here? It says Mefurish, Baba Yadayim. Why would the Bryce even talk about soft dirt? Obviously, because it's very different. It doesn't say a guy that's digging. A guy that's digging in soft dirt. No, it says Mefurish, soft dirt. That means there is a difference between softer and not so softer, and it must be our pshat that soft dirt causes immediate damage. Says Gemara, you're right. Baba Yadayim and Sirichle, there's another chiddush. Maybe that's what it was coming to say. That you need even more than 3 tvachim because it's so soft and it's so damaging. 3 tvachim is enough. Tashma. Marchikim is gefes. So we don't have pictures tonight. You remember the pictures. There's a factory that produces fuel from the olive pits. You have to distance that 3 tvachim. This has zevel, manure. You don't need the picture. Ves hamelach. This I have a nice picture. Ves hasid. Ves hasloim. You have to distance salt from the wall 3 tvachim. Here's a picture from Chicago. The famous Morton salt factory. This is what happens when you put salt up against a wall. There is no wall. You see what happened to the wall? It disappeared. There's cars down there buried in salt. Shmak. That's not exactly what's going on here. I mean, we're talking about damage caused by salt. So you have to distance 3 tvachim. Place just points out something very interesting. What's the big deal? Why do you have to distance? You distance. Okay, yes, I get it. Because it'll damage, let's see in a second, damage the wall. Or over here it says, there's another way out. You don't have to distance, you put a layer of lime. It's because there's a wall. If there's no wall, you can put your salt right there. Now, according to Rava, what's all machlokes again? Rava says even if your friend didn't build anything, he didn't put a wall, he didn't dig a ditch, he didn't dig a well, you're not permitted to dig your well up against the borderline. Why? Because maybe tomorrow he will. Over here you see, not like Rava. Over here you see, if there's no wall, there's no instant damage, you can put it all the way up to your border. So no, and this Taisus points out, what would be the problem to put it up to the border? What damage is it going to cause? Oh, he's going to build a wall. So when he builds a wall, move it. Take a shovel, move it. Says Taisus, no, because it'll create a long time damage in the ground. It'll do something to the dirt on the border, where even if you move the salt, it'll still be damaging. Liluy. So the reason why the sugya is so easy is because the Gemara asks the same type of question from different things in the Mishnah, different thing, and the answer is always the same idea, same concept. The whole Amud. So we have a freebie basically tonight, and Amud Beis is super short. Liluy. Even if there's no wall, don't ask me a question on Rava. Even if there's no wall, you cannot put anything damaging next to your border. So then why does it say wall? These are things that are damaging to the wall. Okay, so we learned the chiddush here that salt, lime, all these things. What else do we have here? Gefes, zevel, manure. They're all damaging to the wall. Why did it say wall? To teach us that damages the wall. Tashma. Marchikim says roim. you can't plant seeds, and you can't put your hair. This one I'll show you again. You can't plow right next to your friend's wall. Urine. 3 tefachim. Says Gemara again, once again. It's because there's a wall. You're allowed to you're allowed to plow, you're allowed to do all these things all the way up to the borderline. Rava holds you're not allowed to, even if your friend doesn't have a wall, even if he doesn't have a well. Says Gemara Eli. Has nothing to do with the wall. So why do they say wall? The misunta kosher is telling us the moisture is damaging to a wall. No, you see what I'm talking about? It's chazara, tashma. Here we have the picture again. As you see in the mill, there's 2 stones on top. One is smaller than the other. So therefore, the larger one, you have to distance 3 tefachim from the wall, and the smaller one is 4 tefachim. Why does it say you have to distance from a wall? It seems like because there's a wall. But if there's no wall, you're allowed to put it there. Rava says you're not allowed to put it there because maybe one day there'll be a wall there. How does it damage before? And I don't know how Tais is going to explain this one. Like, even if there's no wall, you're not allowed to put it there. So what's the chiddush? The vibration is no good for a wall. Tashma. We'll show you the tanner. Why not? It's a beautiful tanner, actually. So you have to distance this 3 tefachim min hakilyosh in arba min hasafa. It has a bottom piece, as you can see. So the bottom is 3. The actual tanner is 4. Time to get kaisel. You're not allowed to put your oven there because there's a wall. Halakha kaisel samach. If there's no wall, you're allowed to put your oven there. Rava says you're never allowed to put anything next to your neighbor. Like a kaisel nami loy samach. Even if there's no wall, you're not allowed to put it there. There are things like an oven that the heat ruins the wall. Tashma. I love this Gemara. It says you're not allowed to open up here for the new people. We've seen this 100 times, but why not? without sound, please, without sound. Oh no. There's a lot. You saw the heat going on in there. There's a lot of heat. Here, you can see the smoke. Okay, anyway, you get the idea. You're not allowed to open one of these things, and then you're not allowed to open a bakery. Bakery, here we go. Nachama bakery. You're not allowed to open up a bakery. If the guy uses the second floor as a storage house for his wheat or whatever it is, you're not allowed to open up a bakery. Why? Because the smell, we'll see what it is. We'll go in there and ruin it. I thought this is Givaldic. You shouldn't have one of these on the first floor. No, I'm saying what's going on here? But the Pella is the Gemara's Maskana. The Gemara says in the Maskana, this is normal. This is what they used to do. They used to bring a few cows into the house, a few chickens. Refish bakar, not goats, cows. So the Gemara says, time of the goats is because the guy upstairs has a storage house, and you're ruining whatever he's storing. Haleka oitzer oven. But if there's no storage house, I'm allowed to bring as many cows as I want into my house. What's the kasha? Who's the kasha against? Rava or Abaya? Rava. Rava says it doesn't matter what the neighbor has. You can never bring anything close because maybe he will one day bring a storage house over there. It says over here, no, it's only because it's a storage house. Zakti Gemara, Dirashani, Gevaldik. It's normal. This is the way it is. People live. It's unbelievable. It's a life of... I don't know how they live, Bemis. How did they live back then? My neighbor downstairs has a bunch of cows. My wife just washed my clothing with dog waste. And not stop washing. She left it in there for 2 days. And then she rinsed it out. Then they put it on top of coals that has a good smell, so that kind of disguises the dog poop and there's Mardik. Unbelievable. And then my other neighbor, he puts all his garbage in my front yard so that we step on it, and then we fight over who's going to own that manure so we could use it for kids. The smells in those days, who knows? So people used to walk around with a necklace that had like a perfume to like disguise the whole matzah. What's going on?
And kids these days think it's tough.
It's tough, yeah. Because you only give them 3 hours on the device and not 4. But kids, life is tough today. So it happens to be somebody just told me, Maisa Shahaya, he's looking at an apartment, mamish over here. I don't want to give too much away because maybe the guy watches this year. So they told him, listen, don't buy. It's like 1 block away from here. He said, I want to tell you about this thing. There's a wine factory upstairs. And the machines go. It's like a whole matzav. Machines are going. And not only that, once in a while you get a leak, but not a leak of water. A leak of wine comes in. So your block, you know what I'm talking about? You don't know, okay. But that's a dira. Dira shani. Today there's all sorts of things going on in the diras. We have a shaita lady in our building, and when she moved in, there's a lot of people who are very upset and this and that. It's not a big deal. Like, it's pretty quiet. We didn't know like it's going to bring in different traffic coming in, and people are going to park their cars in funny ways. But people have funny things going on in their buildings. Anybody have some good stories here? You live in a house, you don't know what I'm talking about. And it ruined your room? It smelled up the room? You know what I'm talking about. Okay. What about me? I let my son live in my house, and I come up there one night. I'm not joking. I have a beer factory. Mamish, a beer factory. What are you doing? It's going to be great. Nice taste. It's a whole process. But when you do beer, you also need a machine that could close the bottle well. So he has bottles and a machine that closes the bottle. And this kid said that lasted for a week. He's on to his next hobby. Okay. Weiter. So here's another question. Noise. Did anybody think about noise? Am I allowed to play basketball in my apartment knowing that my neighbor is going to really annoy him? I looked it up. Here in Eretz Yisrael between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, there's still a law. You're not allowed to make noise between 2 and 4. And after 11 o'clock. Okay, so let's say 5 o'clock. I'm allowed to bounce a ball on my neighbor's head. Anybody? No? Yes.
No, my wife just always asking about that.
I'm not sure about that one. But what comes out over here, the place you want to prove from our sugya that all we care about really is the heat, damage from heat. The bakery causes heat, the cows cause a smell. But they want to say that the smell is not a problem. Smell is not an issue. It's only heat that's an issue. And no, it says meforish. Cows is not. This is normal to have these kinds of things. That's what they want to prove from our sugya, that smell alone is not. It's not something that you can have a tain on. Although somebody said a Maisa Shahaya that I forgot who's telling me this, that he only wanted to show his apartment at 10 o'clock at night. And okay, he showed him the apartment, the guy bought it. And then when the guy moves in, he couldn't believe it. There's a fish store downstairs. And he realized the only reason why he showed him the apartment at 10 o'clock at night is because he didn't want him to see the fish store open. So they passed him that it's a mekachtos. Because he tried to hide it like that and he showed this, he had to give him back his money. What are you saying, sorry?
In the real estate business, you have to have peaceable enjoyment of the property. So anything that's going to cause any loud noise that's going to be out of the roof is going to cause an issue.
What is it called?
Peaceable enjoyment.
Peaceable?
As a landlord, you have to have
Peaceable enjoyment.
enjoyment.
Let's show that little line is not in there. Peaceable enjoyment.
But our landlords that don't let tenants have pets. Pets can leave a lasting smell even after.
You telling me? You know the cost when a person has a pet? Minimum $2,000. You have to change the carpet. It's things that don't come out. If you have carpet, then the smarter people, they put now the linoleum down. Yeah, of course. We had a no pet policy in one of our properties. I found there was a lady there. I saw her walking 1 or 2 dogs. We followed her to her apartment. She had 8 dogs, 8 pit bulls, not dogs, 8 pit bulls in one apartment. Yeah. Of course we went in there. They're out, big time. Zog the Gemara. Yeah, it's one of the biggest expenses, a Meshuggah expense when they have pets. But you don't have a choice a lot of times. You have to accept pets. Huh? No, your property would be no. You wouldn't have any occupancy if you can. You don't have. You give a pet deposit and you charge a little. Oh, sorry. Where are we? Tashma. Dekanami. Oh, I'll prove to you that this is normal for people to bring cows into their house. It says the Tani Allah im hoisa refes bakar kodemis lo itza mutter. It only says it talks about the refes, the cows. It talks about the bakery. Why doesn't it talk about the other things in the Mishnah? The salt, the lime. No, only these things. Im hoisa refes bakar kodemis. It was there first. Lo itza before the storage. Then it's okay. Meaning because this is normal. Tashma. Lita adam ilan samach l'sada. You shouldn't plant a tree next to a field. You need a distance 4 feet, 4 amas, 8 feet. What do you need 4 amas? Quick here like this. We just recently had this one. You need 4 amas for the vineyard, for the trucks and the whatever machinery that you bring in. You need 4 amas. What has to do with clay? A carrot we'll see in a second. Time of mishum. It's only because of you need to work it. If it wasn't for that reason, you'd be able to put a tree all the way up to your neighbor's property. Ask the Gemara, what about the roots that are going to grow there eventually? According to Rav, it should be a big problem. So we have a picture. The mafsik tzunma right over here, meaning. Oops, what just happened? 25 amma, you have to distance. Why? Because of the roots. Sorry, it's the wrong place. Here I am. It's 4 amma. Yeah, 25 amma somewhere else. Here. This. Tzurma means there's a rock. So Meila, I'm not concerned about the roots. Says the Gemara. We're talking about Kalev now. So if there's a fence between the 2 fields, let's say, I don't know, this. If there's a fence between them, then you're allowed to come all the way with your wheat to his grape, and there's no problem with Kalev Karev. So the Gemara says, what do you see from here? Now, Rashi points out an unbelievable thing. I didn't know about this chiddush. He says, not stam a fence, even a tzuras ha-pesach fence. So it doesn't have to be a real fence, but 2 poles and a pole on top, that's enough of a hefsek. Now, Rabbi Shalayla, how is a pole like this, just a hecker, a simon, that works for Shabbos? To remind me, don't go outside, don't carry, I don't know what. But Kalev Karev means my wheat is going to go into the vineyard and it's going to grow together. How does a little thing, obviously you're talking about is it tzunma. There must be a massive stone underground and they don't grow together. I still need to show some sort of hecker. But if so, it says in the end, if the roots go into the friend's field, you're allowed to cut them down, chop them down 3 tvachim, so that it shouldn't bother your plow. But if in fact there's a big stone underground, how in the world are there roots when there's a big stone? Says Gemara, no, the safe is not talking about a stone. And if there's no stone, and there's roots, then he's permitted to chop down the roots. So this shouldn't ruin his plan. So that we had the 25 amma thing. Where was that? Here. 25 amma to plant a tree. Why? Because of the roots. It's only because there's a pre-existing well. Haleka bar samach. You're allowed to put the tree all the way up to the border. Who's that a question on? On Rav, who says you're not permitted to put anything in advance. Loi. Even if there's no bar, you're not allowed to put the tree there. This is the same kind of text that we had up until now. The whole chiddush is to tell you what causes damage. Here, a tree causes damage 25 am away, which is approximately 50 feet away. So very far distance. A tree could go out there 50 feet and destroy somebody else's well. Especially when it smells that water, it wants to go all the way to the well and destroy the well. Yihachi ema seifa. So if so, what's Pshat in the Sefer? It says, and if the tree's there first, you shouldn't chop it down. According to Rava, you're not allowed to put a tree all the way to the border. How in the world do you have a tree that's there before a well? Again, what does it say? You have a tree that's on the border before the well was there. But according to Rava, you're not allowed to put a tree. Even if there is no well, you're not allowed to put it all the way on the border. How did it get to the border? If you're not allowed to plant anything, you're not allowed to dig anything, you're not allowed to put a pile of anything that's damaging on a border, how did this tree get to the border? So the Gemara, the easiest answer. No, what do you think the answer should be? Says Gemara, you know what happened? He planted the tree, it was all his field. A giant field, he planted the tree middle of the field. Is he allowed to plant the tree middle of the field? Yes. One day he decided he's selling his field from the tree on. So now you have a field, a tree on the border of his field and his neighbor's field. But he owned it originally. When he planted the tree, both fields were his. Later on, he subdivided it. The Papa, like we can see in Amud Beis, he says this teretz, so we're going to use this teretz over here. Tashma. No matter how many times you guys saw it, we got to see it again, especially for the new guys, because the language that this guy speaks is unbelievable.
We're going to take it on there. You can put it the Scotch way, the Ulster Scotch way, or English way you would want, but it's going to soak it or steep it.
No, what's language?
English word that's red.
You have no idea, huh? That's why you got to hear. You got to see this again. It's English. I'm telling you right now, it's English.
Put it in and you put stones in the top of it to keep it down. And keep it on the air out for
It's English.
roughly up to 7 to 11 days, maybe more. According to what way you take it out then and you take it out then and you break it.
You break it.
And if it breaks,
you break it. And that's it. You understand everything he's saying?
That's red.
You don't either.
Take it out and shred.
You guys live pretty close to him.
Then after that, then we'll take it out and you dry it in the grain.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys, this is very embarrassing, but when I went to high school, first time I was in high school, I was way below bar mitzvah. And for some reason, my mother, Shalom, decided to send me to high school in a onesie. No, I went regular, but at night, instead of pair pajamas, she gave me a onesie. This reminded me. And I had to wear that onesie that had those feet, the fisalech. But my feet were bigger, so I had crumpled my toes a little bit. I didn't understand why the whole dormitory is laughing at me. The whole bar mitzvah. See, you got a onesie walking around the dormitory. Okay, I was not from the coolest kids in the yeshiva, put it that way. She heard it's very cold in the desert, Tifrach. What are you laughing? You think it's funny? I was in Tifrach. Huh? He remembers me from Tifrach? No. From the onesie. The guy with the onesie. Maybe Yosef, you can find the onesie picture, throw it in there. Anyways, you have to distance this break it from the vegetable path. Why? Because the mishra, the flax that's in that pool of water, it sits there for 2 days or whatever, is dangerous, is bad, not dangerous, it's really bad for it'll destroy the vegetable. And if you plant leek, distance it from the onions, will destroy the onions. Oh, I love this one. Rabbi said this is givaldic. First of all, let's see what we have. We have a bunch of stuff for this one. So, not this. Here we go. These are bees that are feeding on mustard. Now, Rashi says givaldic. Rashi says that when a bee eats mustard, this is what happens. Let's see. First of all, this is what Yoshi did. So it's kind of bitter. So in order to soothe his mouth, the bee, he goes and he drinks his own honey. So now the guy that's trying to collect honey has a loss. He doesn't have honey. And this is what our other artists, they had a little bit of a competition. Who's going to make a better thing? So this is Yoshi, okay? This is 1. This is 2. You ready? That's that. Yoshi says that the other guy won. I don't know. I'm not so sure. No? You vote Yoshi. Yoshi wins. Where's the other? I don't understand. Oh, here. This is Yoshi. This took a whole day to do. Yeah. Well, you have to start from scratch. Draw, get a character, and like make all the faces and everything. Okay. Does it say? Oh, it does say MDY on it. Okay, good. You have to distance your mustard from the bees. It's interesting because bees, they don't have like a limit. It doesn't like really make a difference. Is it 5 feet this way? They could go 10 kilometers. Like, what's the difference? Okay. Time of the yarak. It's only because your flax pool is next to the vegetables. Who's this a question on Rabbi's side? It says that you're allowed to put your flax pool next to your neighbor. Why? Because it doesn't have a vegetable path. According to Rabbi, it should be also. Even when there's no vegetable, you're not allowed to put it there. Oh, we're trying to tell you, like the whole Amud. This flax stuff is bad for vegetables. Rabbi says that you're allowed to put your bees next to the mustard. What? Not mustard next to the bees. Why should I distance my mustard from the bees? You take your bees away from my mustard. Why? They're eating the flowers of my mustard. This is interesting Shiloh, not for now, because we have to finish, but is honey a liquid or a solid? Anybody? Nafkemina for Yom Kippur. How much are you allowed to eat on Yom Kippur? It goes by Revius, it goes by, how does it go? So they say it depends what you're using it for. Steinberg says this, I don't know. Yeah, but it depends how you use it. Liluy samech. Zog Gemara. Oh, Daf Yomi. Liluy samech. Hold on a second. It sponsors. Asking Gemara. Liluy samech. According to Rava, you're not permitted to put one object that's harmful to another object, even if that second object is not there. Even if your neighbor doesn't have anything there. How in the world that did the, let's say the bees get there first? You're not allowed to put it there according to Rava. Or Papa Biloikeyach. They were there beheter. Later on, he subdivided his property and he sold off the other property. Asked the Gemara Biloikeyach by the time of the Rabbanon, why, according to Rabbanon, do you have to take them away? So now we could do sponsors because it's a little long here. Turning the Daf sponsored by Live Share Community, protecting families before today, before tomorrow's unexpected loss. So Gemara, the Oid, my time to Rabbi Yossi. Why does Rabbi Yossi say it's mutter to leave your bees, your whatever you want, your mustard? Afilu mishri yakinami. According to Rabbi Yossi, you should be allowed to leave. What does Rabbi Yossi hold? Rabbi Yossi holds, I'm doing whatever I feel like doing in my property. It's my property. So why does he only say that svara when it comes to bee and mustard? You should say it also when it comes to the flax pool and vegetables. You're allowed to leave it there. It's because Rabbanan hold that it's the one that causes it. We have a machlokes throughout Shas. What? Alamazik, who has to distance himself from who? The one causing the damage or the one being damaged? Most people will say, logically speaking, the one that causes the damage should distance himself. Guess what? La halacha, it's the one that's being damaged has to distance himself. So, Chachamim say the one damaging has to leave. And therefore, so even though you came there, when it was mutter for you to be there, you sold off you subdivided. But today you're a damager. So move away, move your bees away. Move the chal. I know you're very into your chal. I'm asking to you. Move your mustard away. Here, I'll show for you. I'll do this. This is chardal. Chardal. I need it for a second. Michlal, so Rabbi Yossi who argues on Rabbanon, he obviously has to hold the opposite. So Michlal Rabbi Yossi Soval and Izalach. The guy that's being damaged, not the damager, what we don't like so much, the guy being damaged, he has to move himself. Oh, if that's the case, so then what's a pshat when it comes to vegetables that are next to, you put your flax next to my vegetables, you're ruining my vegetables. So he should hold that the guy that has the vegetables, he should move his whole vegetable patch. Why should the guy with the flax have to move it? So this is just a happening, don't get excited. Rabbi Yossi, the Gemara says, oh, perhaps Rabbi Yossi is the one that holds that the mazik has to distance himself. So when it comes to the flax, he already has to distance himself. The mazik, you're right, has to distance himself. Why? Because the guy with the flax water is damaging the vegetables. But when it comes to mustard and the bees, nobody should have to, it's a wash. My bees damage your mustard is damaging my bees and my honey. So it's a wash. I don't have to move it away then. For Rabbana, no, and it's a great svara. No, aren't they both damaging each other? Says the Gemara, no, because the bees cannot get to the actual mustard. So if we're talking about this binta, check this out, very nice. It's almost like a string bean. Hold on. Here's the flour that we're talking about. That's the tirfa in a second. And you look, these are the string beans, and inside you'll see like little balls. You see those, how you can tell where the chardal is. So the Gemara is saying is, the bee can't reach it. He can't get to it. There's a nice covering. Bee doesn't damage the actual, if this is chardal, the bee can't get to those little guys. They're inside a what? A pod. Very good. If we're talking about leaves, hadapari. Big deal. A little bee is going to eat. How much they're going to eat? A microscopic piece of the flower will grow back. Says the Gemara, does Rabbi Yossi really say that a mazik has to distance himself? Rabbi Yossi is of the opinion, whatever I do in my property is my business. I don't care if it damages you. Even though your well was there before my tree, I don't have to take off my tree. I don't have to take down my tree. Why? Everybody does whatever they want in their property. You want to make a well in your property? Great. I want to plant a tree in my property. So you see, that's ala nizak. What does that mean? So what if I'm damaging you? You're the one being damaged. Move your stuff. And that's the halacha. That the nizak, the one being damaged, he has to take care of his stuff. Well, the Ram the Rabbanon Karmelu, and he's talking to Rabbanon. Lididi, and you see there's an Aleph here. Ala nizak la'achik itzatzmai. That's the halacha. Shulchan Aruch Paskins, you are being damaged, take care of your stuff. You're in your property, I'm in my property, I can do whatever I want. And you're right. Even when it comes to the flax water, I don't have to move my flax water. You move your vegetables. But you that hold that the one damaging has to move it, it's the same story that we said a second ago. That's okay when there's flax water. Because the flax water damages the vegetables, and the vegetables don't damage the flax water. When it comes to mustard and bees, they destroy each other. And what do Rabbanon hold? Rabbanon, they answer him, it's not true. Bees don't destroy the actual mustard. If it's in the pod, they can't get to it. And if it's the flower, will grow back. Rabbi Sai, have a good Voch, a good yor. We'll see you tomorrow. Be'ezer Hashem. Shkoyah.